Ta-da! Hello and welcome to the Evil Hour podcast, the all things survival horror podcast. Hello and welcome to the Evil Hour. I can hear
That was
myself.
me.
No. You're fine. I heard myself. I didn't mute over there. Anyway, including our experience, thoughts, and hot takes. We're your hosts, the dudes of all dudes, horror enthusiasts, renegades of the underground. I am Rastrophic/Dom, and I'm here with.
And I'm Sean Graves.
In today's episode, we'll be discussing growing pains because we're all getting old. We're all going to be going through different experiences in life, and you know how it is. So,
And sometimes there are things, but sometimes there are things that are like we can all like relate to. So
absolutely.
yeah, just helping each other out along the way.
And we offer our listeners a special surprise at the end, as always, which I'm excited about this topic if you got one.
Hell yeah.
And be sure to listen all the way through in the details. Big rate on that.
Hell yeah, dude. Dom, quick 10 seconds before we get into today's podcast. Yes. How have you been?
Very boring life, unfortunately. So basically just been working, man. You know,
yeah,
been working a lot of 12s. I haven't had really time for myself, and that sucks because a lot of people is like, you gotta make time for yourself. But when you're short-handed on your crew, and then another crew is also short-handed, so people are coming in for 12s on your shift while you're staying over for 12s on their shift. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So I haven't had a chance to live stream, play games, or nothing, man. So I've been pretty boring this week. I don't have anything excited to say. I'm sorry. So
I'm the complete opposite. So last weekend, I went to Berkeley, California, and I got to see another childhood band of mine that I've been listening to since middle school. When remember back in like the mall when you go to the mall and like if you spent like $50, you got like a demo CD with like a whole bunch of different artists in it.
Yeah.
That's how I found Ladytron, and so um we get there, and I told you before we went live, but yeah, I saw the band live out in the wild at a pizzeria called Jupiter, and we had a moment. We didn't say hi or anything, but we had a moment. Me and Daniel Hunt, one of the band members, and then me and the boyfriend unit, we verified that that was the band as we walked past them in the restaurant.
Yes.
Because we were totally not creeping. And then we found a random speakeasy, and like I literally leaned on a wall and fell in, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's a freaking speakeasy!" And and then yeah, had a blast. We got to see a band called or no, an artist named Dan's CM.
Yeah.
She held down the floor for a good 30 minutes, and then Ladytron blasted it out of the water for like 2 hours straight. It was great. I lost my voice on Sunday.
Yes.
I think this is like my tis. Like I'm starting to come around, but also like Mother Nature's been like messing with me.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of like the face crud of pollen and weather changes. But I also lost my voice on Sunday, so I don't know where I am at this point. You guys got like this is the best voice I can bring today.
Right.
Yeah. So getting into growing pains.
Yes.
When we talk about growing pains, typically it's like, growing pains is like, your body or your mental state or you know, just situations, right?
Right.
For myself, when I was thinking about this, growing pains for like I was thinking like, I don't want to talk about like, my childhood, but I was thinking about like from young adulthood to like now, being in my late 30s, what are some growing pains that I felt were um, a thing,
Yeah.
essentially? And my first one was pretty much like one of the big one. I would say this is one of the big ones is like, your career and your financial pressures that you feel socially
Yeah.
wherever you are, when I was 18, it wasn't so much of a career or financial pressure, because I was working at Pier 1 Imports, like I was a floor salesman.
Right.
I was not expected to make a whole lot of cash, but I was thankful to have a job and to be able to pay some bills, like rent and a phone bill or something like that.
Right.
Um, entry level, I mean, it's like one of the growing pains from being in my 20s, like literally in my 20s, was going from an entry level job to specializing and then like long-term careers where I'm at now in
Right.
my 30s. Huge one. And for me, it's the pressure to reach specific salaries or like titles milestones,
Yeah.
from like manager to, I don't know, what do you call someone higher than a manager?
Supervisor.
Shift lead,
Yeah.
supervisor,
Yeah.
to like, I don't know, a franchise owner or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, like doing it before age X. And I don't know if like you've ever lived your life, Dom, where you're like, oh, I want to reach this goal by age X, you know?
See, I would say I never really say I wanted to reach this goal by age X. I would normally, and even my wife could back me up on this, is like I set my mind to something. Like for example, right now I'm trying to get a Dodge Cummins. All right, shout out to my Dodge Cummins people out there. But anyway, so
Speak it into the universe.
yeah, so but no, with that being said, it's like I see something and I go for it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Hmm.
I nothing will keep me off my path. I'm like every day wake up, sleep, eat, go to work, do 12s. I'm like I'm getting this. And then 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
dude, like even my wife even tells me that I'm the only guy that she's ever been with where if I want it, I go for it. So I want to say
Hmm.
not I don't do specific dates because I just can't promise that. You know, I granted it's like okay maybe it'll take me 2 years, maybe it'll take me 3 years, maybe it'll take me 18.
Hmm.
You know, I don't want to do that. Now it's more like no, I'm going to think about it, I'm going to keep talking about it, and it's going to be it's happening. Like this is it.
Hmm.
So yeah.
I can see that. Like I remember being in the military. I think it's like on a yearly basis or bi-yearly basis. They do like these like career board things,
Yeah.
and they want you to like write down like what your goals are for your career and things like that, which are it's helpful. But like me at the age of 24, I had like no idea what I wanted to do
No.
for my career. I was just lucky to get in. You
Right.
know what I mean? But
Right.
like eventually at a point down the road, one of the things that like eventually comes to like a spearhead for me was that I was staring at a career where if I stayed in, I would be making less money than if I got out
Wow.
without the promise of uh, let's put it like this. Being advanced to like the next rank isn't promised to you,
No.
right? It's based on testing, it's based on your evaluations, it's based on how many chiefs like you, or if your division officer likes you, if the whole command even knows who the hell you are,
Oh
that
yeah, no,
popularity helps a lot.
I could relate to this because actually that happened to me at one of my jobs before. Was that's why I switched my position because they kept on,
Yeah.
oh well, you make this money, you'll make this money. Actually, I'll tell you guys straight out. They were like, oh, you make $27 an hour, you know, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, okay. They're like, just stay with it because they knew I was going to switch departments because I it just wasn't
Mhm.
me. I wanted to go back to my old department, which I did, and that's where I'm at now. But anyway, and so I was like, you know what? You're kind of speaking my lingo. I like it. I like it. I was like, okay, I might stay. And so next thing I know, I started staying. I stayed for like another 3 days, and then finally I got this, light bulb moment, and I was like, wait, when am I getting that money? So I walked into the office. And I was like, hey, when am I getting this money that you're telling me about? Oh, you'll get it, type. And I'm like, no, it's either I get it right now or this isn't happening. He's like, oh, I promise. I promise. What we're talking about right now, you'll get. And I was
It
like,
was
no,
just
we're
like
not.
Game of Thrones to
Oh,
you.
yeah, yeah. Because then I talked to one of the guys there and they were like, yeah, they promised me the same thing. I've been here for another year and a half. I'm like, yeah, fuck that, dude. I'm like, this ain't. And like, even he even says he goes to the office
Oh
every day. Are you
no.
gonna pay me? And they were like, oh yeah, no, it's coming. And I'm like, yeah, we're not playing this game, so that's why
That
I
is
left. So,
trash.
yep,
Absolute trash.
yep. So now I can relate to what
Holy
you were saying
cow.
because yeah, no,
It's so much to the point where like the military doesn't have a problem with if you stick at a rank for too long, they'll just kick you out.
wow,
Yeah. But that's that's E5 and below, right?
Okay.
So if you make E6, like, a first class petty officer, then you'll retire out, right? And if you're a chief, you'll retire out and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I was staring at my career at that point in my career, I was staring at I'm in for 10 years.
Yep.
If I go to my short command, I'm staring at the barrel of either I make it or I don't. And if I go to a short command, it, they don't really play favorites they play favorites harder at a short command because people just cycle through, right? And it's just a big wheel. Um and yeah, like I knew the popularity contest was not one that I was going to win, so like why play it?
Right.
So I just took I that's when one of those toughest points is like I wanted to make first class before 10 years, but I was like looking at it going like this, ooh,
Do you though?
yeah, that's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. So, I did the adult thing. It was a really tough choice. I wish I could have stayed in longer, but at the same
Absolutely.
time, like I'm really glad I didn't.
Right.
So, because I'm making so much more, so I'm doing so much better on the outside than I am on the inside.
Right.
So it's a growing pain to have to learn that like it took me a year to come down to like the wire and like take a shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I hate those choices.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been in one of
Oh
those
yeah.
situations, but it sucks. But like, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
My growing pain, we're gonna start off as a young teenager as well too, as I'm in my late 20s. Is I'm gonna say skateboarding. I was a huge skateboarder. Most of you that knows this, okay? And
yeah.
so it was just funny because I remember, and I talk about it to this day. I remember you wake up, it's 8 a.m., 9 a.m. All the kids are up too. You know what I'm saying? And you just go. You go and you skate. And I remember coming home. Hell,
Hmm.
when the street lights were on, not even, dude. Sometimes we'll skate at night at our park
A
that
little
we
later
have.
than that,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
and just get into trouble and everything. Just being teenagers.
Hmm.
It's dumb, right? And so I remember doing that. And well, my growing pain was learning pretty much reality and everything because how it affected me was back in 21 or 22. So at this time I was early 20s, but my wife wanted
Mm.
to go skateboarding. I was like, yeah, I still got it, you know. And so we went skateboarding. I'm not even lying. Now, granted, this is my fault, but I am a smoker, and I vape, whatever. So I ain't gonna lie. We get out there, and like 10 minutes in, I'm already like wheezing, dude. Like I'm like, fuck, like I'm
Oh
out, yeah,
no.
I'm like out of shape. But I'm going hard. I'm doing my tricks. I still got it. I'm proud of myself.
Okay.
And then I remember, the life of me, for some odd reason, I could not land my double kick flip that I always do. And I was like,
Oh.
yeah, I'm doing this double kickflip, and at this point, I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm ready to go. And I remember we were walking to the car. I was like, let me try one more time, one more fucking time. Let me just try this double kickflip. And I go down the ramp, and this is where reality hits. And it tells you your age. I do it. I go up, and I landed primo. If you're a skateboarder, you know what that is. I landed primo, ate shit, slid down the thing. I remember I was like sitting there, and like my wife's like, oh my god, are you okay? And I was like, holy fuck, that hurt. And what I'm trying to get
Oh.
here is your pain tolerance over the years definitely changed because my god, I remember seeing my friends. Oh, I remember this one kid. Funny short story. He snapped his arm at the skate park. Literally, dame cried, dame do nothing. He got up. He called his mom, and the whole time he was on the phone with his mom while she was screaming at him because now they gotta go to the hospital and everything. He was just smoking a cigarette. He's like, yeah, whatever. Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I had a rock in my hand right here, and I was
Mhm.
like, and she's just like, she wants to realize I was okay. Then she started laughing and everything. But I was like, I even
Hey,
till this day tell people this story because I'm like, I remember when I would fall, get back up. You don't learn if you
yeah.
stay down. You get back up and you do it again. Bro, no, I ain't gonna lie. I got down and I was like, yep, we're done. Like that fucking hurt
Yeah, we're done.
so bad. So yeah, that is my growing pain. Is
Yeah,
that
because
the
even like
tolerance does lower. My God.
even I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, in my 20s, I could bounce back from excuse me, from poor diet, lack of sleep,
Yes.
random exercises. In my 30s, my body has changed
Oh
in
my god.
ways that I did not
I'm glad
know
that you
it
kind
was
of
gonna
brought
be.
this up, is that like
Yeah.
I remember when I was a teenager, I would go to the gym, work out with my buddies, and we would just straight deadlift all the time. Which that is a type of
Yeah.
workout, don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
like I could do it. Dude, I do like one deadlift now, and like I'm seeing like the white dots, and I'm like getting hot and sweaty, like I'm about to pass out type shit. And then just like you said too, is like, the energy there too. It's just like I remember getting up running.
Mhm.
Now it's just like I get up and run, and I could run, but by the time I get back home, like fuck, I just pulled something in my leg. Like, I'm only
It's
20, dude. Like, what is going on?
I've heard people at your age, when I was younger than you, say that like your metabolism slows down. I would hate to say that my metabolism has slowed down. It's just that I've had to become more conscientious about my metabolism
Yeah.
and what I eat because, like I said, I can't just eat ramen and hot dogs and call that a meal. You know what
Oh
I
my
mean? It
god.
doesn't metabolize the
Well,
same as it used
and
to.
that's that another reality to get in that topic real quick before we start on your second one was my
Yeah, yeah.
IBS starting up out of nowhere because I even told all my
Right.
doctors
Yeah.
is yeah, by the way, I'll tell you this. I put a pin on that. I'll tell you that about that after stream. But I finally got my results back, by the way. We'll talk about that later. Anyway,
Okay.
so but no, it was just funny because they were like, well, what's your diet and everything? I tell them, and then they were like, that's weird because you're actually eating like good stuff, and but and I would even tell them too. I was like, bro, when I was like 21, getting fucked up at a bar, I would eat shitty street tacos, go home, cook
Right.
chili, and eat, and I would have
Yeah.
no problem. And all of a sudden, it's just like I drink water, and it's like, nope, restroom. Like,
Well,
what the
and
fuck?
you speak on that and like going back to deadlifts too. So like last week I took off from pretty much I was like yeah, I was pretty much not working out as hard as I used to. And even like this week I managed to go and lift, but I didn't go running because again, the air quality has been really crappy lately. So it's a thing that we have to worry about in California is the air quality, I
Oh
know.
no, we get
But
it too. We're actually under one yesterday. We was so
okay. So, normally I would just go out and run. Well, now I have to kind of mind
yeah. Oh
what the
yeah.
air quality is like. And so for a week I haven't ran. And I was like, dang, I was getting so close to doing, more than, 4 miles running. And I've been trying to get to 10. Um, but I deadlift 150 pounds. Here's the caveat. At the beginning of my week, I was 166 pounds.
Okay.
Somehow through that week of not working out and then going back and lifting, I dropped to my weight literally dropped from 166 to 160.
Whoa. It's only
And
6 pounds.
the only thing that's changed is literally my workout. Like,
Damn.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, so is it like the tearing of the muscles and then the water,
Right.
like
Yeah.
or the liquid, like, mending? Is it like is that, like, actual muscle weight, or it's not fat. I can take a photograph of myself and send it to you, and I don't have an excessive amount of weight,
Right.
like, or fat or that, But I'm definitely not the 20-year-old who could wake up with a six-pack just from sleeping on the couch, you know what I
I
mean?
wake up with a
Like,
six pack,
it's
that's for sure.
right. Right. Gone are those days. And, like you said earlier, it's like injuries take longer to heal. Um, I had once went out for a run and I got runner's knee and I was down for like a month without
Yeah.
running.
That's tough.
So like I don't know if you know how that feels, but it's very it feels weird. And then it for me in my late 30s, and I can even speak to this with like the boyfriend unit as well, because he's a little older than me, but not by much. He's in his 40s. Um, it at this point, being athletic or like maintaining your athleticism much like your skateboarding, it now has to be deliberate.
Yeah.
It can't be just a one-off thing. It's deliberate now. Like,
Dude,
yeah,
what
I
pissed
know.
me
It's
off and gave me also a reality check too. I was gonna mention something, but I already forgot about that part, so I'll mention this part. Was
oh,
dude, like last week when I was working, and this ties into what we were talking about of getting older and everything, is I had this
mhm.
random older lady approach me, 60 years old, and she's like one of those random ones. Like she's a
Oh, yeah.
new worker, so like, just out there, we'll just say. And
Uh-huh.
she randomly approached me. She goes, "Hey, do you know my son?" And I was like, "Probably not. Like, you would know if I knew your son because you would probably not invite me to your house. you know, like probably not." And she goes, "Oh, well, you went to this city, this school." And I was like, "No, I didn't go there. This is where I went, and until I got kicked out, and then I went to this school." And she was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, oh." She goes, "Well, you just look like one of his friends and everything." And I said, and then she follows it up with, "Well, I'm just so glad that, he's finally done his school. Like, he's been done for 2 years." And I'm like, "Ma'am, no offense," but I was like, "How old is your kid?" And she goes, "Oh, he's 22." I said, "Ma'am, I'm 27." And I shit you not, without a skip of a beat, she goes, "Damn, you're old." I was like, "Fucking bitch." Like, what the fuck was that? So, yeah, that was a reality check to me. I was like, okay.
You know, for the majority of my 30s, I've been telling people I'm 28 since I was 28.
Yeah,
And
I
then
know
I
that's.
turned 38. I was like, I'm kinda done. I can't even make it to 40 by trying to convince people I'm 28 at this point because I don't know if you know about my beard, but it's got a lot of, salt and
Yeah.
pepper now. So I literally don't get it's weird. If I don't have a beard, I get carded more often than if I do have a beard. There's something about the power
Nope.
of a beard
It's
that
not just that, it's also
for
hair,
some
dude. If I
reason
get my hair cut, I don't get carded. I grow it out. Apparently, I'm a teenager. I don't know.
right. Yeah, right. Doesn't make sense. Um, how about this one? Speaking about being a skater, the heavy realization that your passion doesn't always translate to high-paying realities.
Oh, shit. There you go. All right.
I was thinking about it because I was like, for me, I did when I was in my early teens, I was trying to be that starving musician.
Yes.
The starving artist. You know, I lived in the back of a Dodge Neon. I ate ramen and hot dogs. I did the 7-Eleven. I think it was like $1 for a cappuccino for my coffee in the morning.
Damn.
Like, yeah, and I had my keyboard in the back of the car. Like, I was doing that, and also being a college student at the same time. It's not worth it, everyone. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's not. It's not. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, the best way to put it is this, I would not change what I did
Right.
because I obviously learned something from it. That's the part that I wouldn't change. What I would change is maybe my perspective on it that I was so at the time,
You're going to be popular tomorrow type shit.
uh
Right?
what?
Would it be like, this is a song that's going to make me popular tomorrow? Like, type shit. Would that be it?
It wasn't even necessarily that. I was just so committed to the bit of like, I'm an artist, so I need to just do art. And then that's what's
Oh.
gonna, put food on the table or pay my bills,
And
right?
it's funny that you
And
talk
just
about
do
this
the
though, because a
grind.
lot of people who have lived that lifestyle and have like, let's just say, make it up there, they always remember where they came from though, which I always know that. And it's always, yeah, I lived out. Hell, I just read a story on this one guy. He lived outside of a bar in Tennessee. I was trucking until he made it, and he would always play at that bar, and he
Right.
finally made it. But yeah, no, they always know where you're coming from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, it's not a matter of like not remembering where I came from, Avi. It's more of like there's an equal play. I've got it pretty much. I feel like now in my 30s, in my late 30s, and even back when I was in the military, when I was like in my late 20s, um, I had to find that equal footing of this is a career, this is a hobby, and I can do both,
Right.
but this is what brings food to the table. this is for play, and at a point where this becomes more than this, then I
Yeah.
can give this up, or I could still do this, but
Just like
now so
Twitch.
much more like on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was the Twitch before Twitch, but there was no paradigm for that. You know what I mean? There was no rules or like regulations or like I would say that Twitch has rules and regulations. It does. What I'm saying is like,
DFS.
yeah, I'm just saying like uh the gigging thing, it's like it only goes so far. And then you don't get a whole lot of money out of it, and that money barely pays for even gas.
Oh
And oh,
yeah.
by the way, I'm talking about gas where like $2 was expensive.
Oh
Okay?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're talking about the beginning of like the Afghanistan Iraq war, okay? Like
Yeah.
perspectives. So, it's just one of those lessons that I learned through my 30 years on this earth that the art is good. It's awesome to get paid for your art, but you can't be expecting that it's going to be yielding high money. You know what I mean? Like it just there's no way. Like especially there's some moments where it can pay off, but it's like it's not always a guarantee.
Right.
There's no way to make that a guarantee.
Yeah.
I will say, in my past, I have gotten $1,000 from royalties on my music
Nice.
once.
Yeah.
Once. I've been doing this since 2008.
Yeah.
Like, if I had $1,000 as a paycheck every single month
Oh yeah.
or every single like, you know what I'm saying? Then that's a different
Uh
story.
huh.
But that's not the
Yeah.
story.
$1,000 for let's
And I'm
just say
okay with
18
that.
years, but oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's like with
You
me
know?
and
Like you
Twitch.
have
Like
to
I've been paid before through Twitch, and I'm like I can't
Mhm.
quit my job over it. But I'm very thankful for one, obviously our community and everything. But two, it's just
Yeah.
like that I can at least say I play games and I've actually have gotten paid to do it. And like you said,
Yeah.
it's not all the time, and I'm fine with that. But it
Right.
is pretty cool to say like for your hobby that you have been gotten paid for your hobby. Now again, like you said, now if your hobby becomes
Yeah.
your career and not in a bad way, because a lot of people say don't make your hobby a career, but we're talking in a positive way where now
Right.
you could quit your job to do your hobby. Now that's a whole yeah,
Mhm.
that's a different category. But
I wonder if there's and I still don't know this as, like, a 38-year-old, but what I'm saying is, like, I wonder if there's a spot where you can have your cake and eat it too, where, like I said, like, my main talking point on that is, like, don't expect, like, your hobby to be a high-yielding, paying job, like, right out the gate. Like, if you're a gamer, do you expect that to be a high-yielding,
oh
paying
yeah,
job right off the gate?
right.
No, that's impossible. That's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like shooting for the moon, but you're landing upon the stars, and you're one of a bajillion different
Oh yeah,
stars out
but
there.
it just makes you different, is
Um,
what points it out. You know, and I mean, and the amount of
right?
stories
Yeah,
I heard
exactly.
too of people like, yeah, I only started with this much, I wasn't making this much, but I decided to quit my job and try going full time, and this is what happened. I'm like, holy fuck, like you got a lot of balls because. I'm like in that category. And I'm like, and I don't have enough balls to quit my job and be like, all right, we're fucking streaming.
Yeah,
Because
me
I hate to
neither.
say it, because I think I know my odds, and I'm all right with knowing my odds.
Yeah,
Where some people
right.
can't handle that. Which, no offense to people out there
Mm-hmm.
that like that, but sometimes again, reality check. So
Well, yeah, I guess like no, I totally hear that because like I also understand my odds. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's why like when like one of the things I noticed over at TwitchCon 10 last year was that people were just like, especially a lot of the folks that were doing the panels that were like, how to become a partner or like how to grow your community, da da da. Da. And these motherfuckers always ran back to, well, before I became partner, right? And it was like it just happened. I'm like, it didn't just happen.
no.
Like, there's no way that it just
You
happened,
found your
okay?
network, you found your
One
community, you found your, or I shouldn't say you found, but they found you through that,
And not only just that, but also, I wouldn't say weaponize. I don't know why the word weaponize came into my head, but weaponize and curated social media so that way your content was in circulation and people found you.
Yep.
That is what happened.
I
Essentially,
mean,
that's pretty much what happened. And
I
one of
lo-
the,
I love
I'm sorry.
Queso. If you know who Queso is, I love Queso to death.
Oh yeah, 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 I know who
Oh,
Queso is.
dude,
Yeah,
love him.
yeah, yeah,
And
real
I'm gonna.
fan.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
love him. Yeah.
And but I love his story because that's what he said. He said one day he made a TikTok account. He went to bed. He uploaded his Twitch clips to it, and then he literally said like the next morning he woke up and he was like, what the fuck? And
hmm
yeah, I love Queso though. I love to talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the way that like
But
one of the takeaways that I took from TwitchCon 10 was for every hour that you stream clip,
mhm.
you make one clip. For
Yeah,
every hour
they
you make
always
a
say
clip.
every time you go
Find
live,
something
you have
clippable.
to find something clippable. I have heard that, and then I try to do that, and then I do start doing that, and then I kind of just start losing the battle, and so I stop doing it until I find like my clip. But it is a very
Right.
good strategy. I respect it, but that's why I hate
It is.
doing
Yeah, yeah,
those
yeah.
kind of talks and topics. Because one, everybody says the same shit, whether it's true or not, and 90% of
hmm
the time it is true. But here's the problem: if you're telling everybody that, let's just say to 300,000 people, okay, how many
Right.
300,000 people are fucking doing that? A lot. Let's just say 100. Let's just say over 50%. You know what I'm saying? So again, now you're in
Yeah.
that fucking category again, and the hardest thing about that shit is
Yep.
networking. They always stress that. Oh, you got a network. You got a network. I get that, but what I hate about listening to people like that, because I did my own YouTube. I've heard shit about TwitchCon and everything. Those people. I'm
Yeah.
glad there are people out there that are willing to help. What pisses me off about it is those are the people that already made it, and they kind of like brag. Like to me, it kind of sounds like they're bragging. Like, oh well, how I got partnered was, like how you were saying. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking get that. That's why
hmm
you're up there and I'm down here, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of pisses me
Right.
off. And I can't really stand listening to that stuff. And don't get me wrong, there is tips out there that maybe you have listened to that we never heard or you never heard. But at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, I get it.
Same.
You
Yeah.
network, you clip, yeah. But at the end of the day, they don't tell you like it's fucking luck. It really is.
And you're not wrong about that, but it's also like I've experienced horror stories where there's some folks where and I've been like really quiet about this for like God, I think over a year. Been really quiet about this one. So here's some fucking tea. So there is a streamer that I remember
Oh, that one.
uh they
Yeah.
yeah, I'll talk about it. I'll just fucking go for it. Cuz they're not going to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Fuck it. So they started off streaming and yeah, the folks that I run with on Twitch, we supported them and I'm using them, keeping it real
Yeah.
real unseasoned. Um, keeping them, helping them get affiliated, helped their partner get affiliated. It was like, it was a husband-wife duo thing where you
Oh,
would
you're talking
watch,
about that. I was
the
talking about that
the
chick who got attacked there.
yeah,
My bad. Oh, I know
not
you're.
even close to that.
Yeah. Okay. I know.
So
Oh yeah.
then,
Go on.
fast forward some time, and here's the thing. Here's the crazy part about it is that that person would be like in our chat rooms, and by ours I mean myself and the laundry list of other Twitch streamers as we're all supporting each other. And then um, that was like I think like 2020, 2021, and slowly in 2022 and 2023, that person's not visiting your chat rooms anymore. If any at all. And then 2024, it's like you're noticing that that person's partner is not streaming anymore. You don't see their notifications go up anymore, right? And then as you pop into, the person that's clearly, streaming more often, you start to question yourself like, okay, so wait a minute. So, not judging the individual's lifestyle by any means, shape, or form, because clearly they're adulting, but like you could tell that like their whole personality now is nothing but I'm a Twitch streamer. that is your personality. And it makes me wonder, like, was I duped at the very beginning? Or like, was this baked into the cake, or did this like algoromorphous like grow from this situation?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which kind of makes it sound really sick. But then fast forward a little further, and as again, I was in the person's channel, and it was just kind of like one of those like moments where like when the person pops in, they'll say like hi to you in
Right.
someone else's chat,
Now they don't
like
even know who you
as if
are.
like okay, they pop into like yeah, but like here's the thing, they'll say like hi to you, and then it's like I'm sitting here going like this in the chat room going like this. Okay, if I don't say hi back, I'm a dick. But if I do say hi back, then at least it's cordial, right? So I played ball. And then one streaming day, I was streaming and that person's partner pops in. And I was like, you've been gone for so long. Like, not even God takes this long to get back from a prayer. Like, what's been going on, man? And this person was like dead ass in my chat box said, my partner is more popular than I am. So that's why I haven't been streaming because what's the point? And I was just your laughter literally is my response to it because I was just like, I said, no, I want to see you play. I
Yeah.
liked your content. I liked seeing you as a streamer. You know, like the thing about being a streamer is that it's much like television for me. I'm sorry I'm speaking so much about this, but the
Oh, you're
thing
fine.
is like the whole point is that like it's much like television. And the one thing that I learned from Carol Burnett is that television is what people people invite you into their homes, right? For entertainment, for content, for whatever. And so, you know, that's why I'm grateful that someone is invested in myself, you, the podcast because they're inviting us into their lives, right? And so when I heard that this person was like, why when my partner is more popular than I am, why would I stream? And it really hurt my feelings to know that this dude was feeling that way
Yeah.
about that because it shouldn't be a fucking competition. It shouldn't feel like a certain kind of way about it. And it's hard that that was what was happening. So anyway, that person, his partner, made partner, and and great for them. They literally played the game. That's how I could put it
Yep.
best to it, is like you literally played the game. And then that person has been rating their partner with their
Wow.
viewers to his channel
Yep.
so he can make partner. And I was just like, you know
That's
what?
gross.
I'm tired of being like even from the outside looking in, I'm like, God damn, not only was I emotionally played once, but emotionally played
Oh
twice.
yeah.
Because neither of you motherfuckers
Uh.
would ever blink an eye to being
Oh
like
yeah.
rating over to me or like anyone. You guys haven't done anything for myself or like for
Right.
other streamers that I happen to know of in a fucking breath. Like, why do I even invest my time with you?
Absolutely.
You know?
No,
And I'm not
I
trying to say
will
like,
say
I'm not
this
trying to,
is
yeah,
that
sorry.
no, is that real quick on the whole Twitch thing is that you meet a lot
Yeah.
of interesting motherfuckers. This is a side of Twitch that nobody
Yeah.
fucking tells you about. Because let me tell you, I have met people that are my
I don't know
best
if anybody,
friends.
I don't know if many people like talk about it.
No,
You
absolutely
know?
not. I feel like this is a topic that needs to be talked
Yeah.
about. Is like I met a lot of people
Yeah.
who are my best friends now through Twitch, aka as yourself, who literally have my phone number and or my address, and I have theirs as well too, you know. And I
Indeed.
could literally call them up or play games, whatever, and that's you, Grime, and my
Mhm.
boy J Rod. And then
Mhm.
there's these other people out there where they'll start cool, and I won't say like in your terms where they kind of like abuse the system or whatever. The two things I've learned from Twitch is I have played with motherfuckers who at first seemed really
Mhm.
cool. We are friends. We played a couple of games together, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you get to actually know that person, and they are fucked. Like, and it's not because of their
Yeah.
streaming or anything. I have met a dude who was literally fucking a psychopath. All right, like
Oh,
I remember
jeez.
to this day. I was playing. I mean, I'm not even gonna say the fucking game. Anyway, no, actually I will. I was playing Hunt Showdown. I until this day I don't even remember his name now
Right.
because it's been that long. This was back in 23, I want to say, so 3 years ago, maybe
Mhm.
22. Let's go with 22. And
Okay.
so 4 years ago.
I'll go on your adventure with you.
Yeah, and dude, let me tell you, like, one time we were playing games, everything was great. Next day happens, and he starts sending me invites, and I literally at this. I was in that mood where it's like I just want to solo, nothing bad about it. Anyway, so then he pops into my stream. He goes, "Hey, I'm inviting you. Like, let's play
Mhm.
games." And I was like, "Dude, no offense. I just want to kind of play solos right now. I'm just in my own zone. I just want to worry about my own player. I don't want to really. I just don't want to play with my friends right now." And a lot of my friends understand that.
Yeah.
This guy did not. Anyway, he flipped the fuck out. Like, he kept on just like spamming me with it. Like, at this point now you're pissing me off. And I was
Oh,
live on stream when
no.
this happened too. And I flat out told him, I was like, dude, at this point I'm pissed because then he started spamming my chat. He's like, "Hey, I'm inviting you." I was just like, and that's when I was like, dude, I don't want to fucking play with you. I kind of felt bad. And this is how psychopath this guy
Take a
was
hint.
then a new chatter got into my thing, and after I freaked out because I ended up banning him, blocking him, like getting all red of him, and this new chatter popped in my
Yeah.
chat, and he goes, "Hey, I said, hey, sorry that I see that, bad fucking timing." He goes, "Would you want to play?" And I'm like, "Fine, fuck it. Like, you're new chatter, let me get to know you." So he hops in my Discord and he's talking to me, and then he goes, "Okay, hey, I'm gonna send you an invite." Well, this is where they fucked up because I do my research before I get invited. Is I fucking looked at the friends list. They were in a fucking lobby together. And I'm like, that is a whole type of I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm joining right now." The whole time I was banning him, and I was like, what kind of fucking psychopath gets a hold of another person? I was like, "Hey, let's try to get him in a lot." Like, what the fuck? Dude, like, this is that type of shit that they don't. And
That
then
is
recently,
that is
last
committed to the
year, I
bit.
met two people who they were cool, and then they weren't really our friends. And dude,
Mhm.
nobody talks about that shit at Twitch, and that is coming from a small content creator. So what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then the other thing
Yeah.
I hate about, just
It
real
goes
quick
right.
tidbit, is just like this the fakenism.
Mhm.
Sometimes you could just tell when they're like fake reacting when something happens. I can't get by that. If you can't accept me for who I am
Me
as a
neither.
Twitch streamer, and I don't have to put on this like, "Did you see that?" You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm going, like, if I do something cool, I'm gonna be like, "Oh shit!" Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be standing there like,
Yeah.
chat, did you see it?" Like, it's so cringy to me, man. And those are the people that are popular and just piss me
Yeah.
off. I'm like, why do people find this entertaining? It's fake. It's all fake. Just like what
Yeah.
you were talking about with. That's why
There's a
I
there's
just
a
wanted to
difference
throw that
between
in there. I'm
genuinely
sorry.
being yeah, there's a difference between being genuinely shocked and surprised. Like, for
Or
example,
scared. I've
you're
even
reminding
seen
me of,
fake
like,
scared
my
fucking things. Yeah.
oh, yeah, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I watched a girl play, I think it was Outlast, and the way that she was, reacting, I was like, "She's
Literally
played
fall
this
out of
before."
chair and
But
like,
she was acting
yeah.
but she was acting as if, like, this was, like, the first time. And, but in contrast, like, like, if you literally just go back to last week's stream of me playing Resident Evil 2, there were genuine moments where I was, like, genuinely shocked and surprised.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
not that I have never played, nor have I ever watched a gameplay of Resident Evil
Yeah.
2 or, well, the Resident Evil games to the point where, like, I know what the hell's going down the pipeline.
No, I agree with you.
So
Same here.
genuinely,
So I'm
when
not
things
gonna
are
lie.
happening, I'm
I've
like,
been playing these
you know?
remakes, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, this is actually scary. I'm not gonna lie. I've been playing remakes
Yeah.
with you, and I'm like, whoa! Like, this is fucking freaky.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
sorry, I forgot. Any more? No, I was gonna start on my second
I
one.
was gonna
My
say,
bad.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, just I guess like to wrap up that part was like, we were coming off of it from like realizing that like your passions don't necessarily translate to high paying realities. Um, again like, hey, when that person made partner, it- I would be shocked and surprised at the people that knew that person or those people
Mhm.
from their humble beginnings are still around watching them.
Right.
So there's
Know
that.
who your real people are.
Um,
You know.
yeah, right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
for mine is kind of a health thing. Is that I really don't know how really what to put it in this term, But basically, what I have learned over the years, again, going back in my younger days, is I didn't really care
Yeah.
anything about the world. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. I just lived my life, and I was just free will, whatever. And now I have developed a new thing that I never thought was an actual thing: is anxiety and low key panic attacks. I used to thought that shit was fake. I was that person, and actually, till this
Oh,
year, I have now have found out what anxiety and panic attack is, and dude, it is fucking scary. It sucks and it is
welcome to
scary.
the jungle.
Yeah,
We got fun and games.
I seriously, I was that
Yeah.
type of person that said there's no such thing as anxiety. I don't know why people always use. I literally thought people use it as an excuse. Same thing with panic attacks. When people have panic attacks, I'm like, get over
Mhm.
yourself. What the fuck? And I have
Yeah.
now experienced both of them at the same time this year, and the one slowly goes away, but it still sucks. But I've had panic attack. Hell, it happened to me doing a moto vlog one time. I was having a panic attack on the bike. I instantly cut the fucking recording and went straight home. I don't know why I randomly
Oh,
got it.
wow.
Yeah, so mine's been randomly happening. You know, I get the tight chest. I can't really breathe. And then, of course, now when I'm in a helmet,
Mhm.
I've been claustrophobic my whole life. So that's nothing new here. But now that
Yeah.
I can't breathe and like a helmet's on, dude, I thought I was going to pass out on a bike. And I was like, fuck. Like, I just
Mhm.
don't want to be in a ditch. One, I don't want to wreck my bike. And two, it's just like, so I
Right.
was thinking like, holy fuck, I'm about to pass out. And then no, it's just like I come home and then I was explaining to my wife and she goes, dude, you're having a panic attack.
Does
No,
your
I don't
does
have that
your,
one. Nope.
it doesn't
Nope.
it doesn't do a
I mean,
thing?
that's
I
the
don't know
new
what you call
one.
the thing.
They're called modulars. That's the new one I'm trying to
Okay.
get right now. So I'm in the process because they're fucking expensive. But I am a firm believer.
Right.
You put the money towards what you think your head is worth. So now I can't justify. I'm not gonna lie. I can't.
True.
I love AGV. Shout out to AGV helmets. If you want to send me one, I will fucking gladly be sponsored by you. Anyway, but I cannot justify spending $2,000 on a helmet because
That's called a Street Bob guy, that
yeah,
Street Bob guy,
yeah, for real.
sponsored by.
Yeah, because their helmets are literally thousands of dollars. I seen $2,000 helmets, so I'm sorry I can't justify
Um,
that, but I will gladly spend $400 or $500 on a
yeah,
helmet. But yeah, no. So just take care of
right.
yourself, man. And that shit sucks. So I just kind of want to explain on that because again, I have never had it. This is something new to me. I don't know if this is just what my age is because my sister has had those experiences, but that was like throughout her whole life. And again, I was like, no.
Yeah.
And now I'm 27, and now I'm like, why am I having a panic? What happened? And now it's like, why do I have
I
anxiety now?
remember I remember my first panic attack when I was at Six Flags, over Texas.
Oh man, one Six Flags is very scary.
Yeah. I was, like, in 3rd grade, and I still, like, remember, like, how much, like, my throat, my chest,
Yes.
it was just, like, feeling like my brain was just like, I am so overstimulated and excited that my whole body was like, "You're done." It I
Whoa.
can't say it was like a heart attack, but what I can say it was like is, like, I was literally having like, I remember my parents, um, when they were still together, they had to, drag me to a spot, literally, like, those, like,
Yeah.
garden-esque areas in, like, parks? They had to lay me down on the top of, like, the cement
Wow.
bricking and just calm me down as much as possible. One of my sisters had to go get, like, a bottle of
See,
water,
that's weird that you
it was a
mentioned that
whole
because
thing,
now
and
I all I do is carry a bottle. There's one in my car. There's two in my bike because now it's
yeah,
like for some odd reason it's like I need water. And I'm not a water person at all. So you know
yeah.
when I'm drinking water, like something's wrong.
Well, if you really wanna, like, zhuzh up your water and, like, I don't know, maybe it's just, like, the California living that I've taken on, but, just take a couple cracks of, sea salt
Yeah.
into your water and then shake it up and you have electrolytes.
Nuh-uh. For
Double the
real?
hydration. Totally. Yeah. Sea salt, pink sea salt or
Yeah,
just sea
that's what I
salt,
got
just
right now is
yeah,
pink sea
shake
salt.
that
So I'll try that out.
yeah. Just do like just a little seasoning, not too much. And like even in the military, like I would just say like when I had anxiety, like I've had anxiety and panic attacks, I guess like forever and ever and
See, I
ever.
never
But the
had
thing
this.
is
Is
like
something new
the
to me,
the
man.
the best way that I can explain it as an adult is because as a kid, I never had been on a roller coaster before. But as an adult, I can tell you what it's like is if you're in a roller coaster and you're clicking up before the roller coaster even takes off,
Yeah.
but then you're still clicking back up. It's like the loop of your body
Oh
getting
yeah.
the adrenaline high, and then it kinda lows down, and
Oh,
then
I
you're
had one
clicking
at
back
work,
up,
dude.
and
I
then you're
remember I was like throwing these things in a cart, and out of nowhere, it's like I got really high, so I seen the
yeah,
white dots, and then like I felt everything. I was like, "Am I about to pass out?" I remember to this day because this happened like 2 fucking weeks ago. I fucking threw everything down. I straight up
yeah,
ran to my forklift. Like I probably looked stupid because I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I think I'm about to pass out. I don't know. I just been randomly getting them. I don't know
yeah,
what's causing it. I don't know what it
yeah.
is.
I think the most recent panic attack I had, was at the VA, ironically, and, it's weird that I go to the VA for medical from time to time, and then I have panic attacks there. Like,
That's
so timely. And, one of the doctors there was like I don't know what I don't remember what exactly it's called. I've been trying to train myself on it now more so. And it's hard being like older. Like you think like, oh, it'd be so easy to learn these things, but it's still kind of new. So I'm still learning it. But um, it's like these 5 things you have to think about. So it's like, uh,
Oh, I
how
heard
does
of
it go?
this. It's like what you
What
see,
2 things
what
can you
yeah,
see? What can
Sarah,
one thing you can
yeah,
smell?
the wife taught me about this. And for
3 things you
that
can
shit does not
hear.
work for me at all. And
So
I don't know if
sometimes
it's
it works and
because I
sometimes
have
it
like very
doesn't.
severe ADHD, so maybe that's why. Because I'm not focusing.
Yeah.
I'm more like
Yeah. 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 It's something that I've been trying to, you know,
work on.
implement.
Yeah.
Yeah, been working on it. Like, another technique that I've been trying is some people call it the raisin technique because you hold like a raisin in your hand and you try to like think about like the color of it or like the taste of it,
Huh.
the smell of it. Um, like the texture of it, like all those things, and you try to like uh examine those things. You can't really do anything with hearing or anything, or
Right.
but like that kind of stuff. Um, I've been trying to do it with peanuts because I eat more peanuts than I do raisins, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, anxiety sucks, man. It really sucks, especially when it creeps up on you for like no fucking
Yeah.
reason.
That's all mine's been. I'm like, what did
Yeah.
I do this time?
Yeah, no, I totally hear you on that. Um, my last one is social media comparison, which I know we kind of touched on that a
Great.
little bit before, a moment before.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like the contrast exposure of carefully curated highlights on platforms, essentially. Um,
I'm in Paris. This is my happy family.
yeah,
Look how happy my boyfriend
right.
is.
You know, hmm
See, now, real quick,
yeah,
I'm
it's
already
like
going
the
to cut
tempt.
this off. And for the people that do this, please don't look too big in it because you don't know what the backstory is. And I'm a firm fucking believer. I know I probably already got to touch up on this, but dude, that happy family
Yeah,
that you're seeing, you don't know if either he or she is either beating on each other. You don't know what the fuck it is. Just because
yeah.
they have more money than you or
It,
whatever, they're not happy, bro. I guarantee you that.
especially like the milestone anxieties that can compound from that because again like we spoke at the very beginning was like I want to be here by X
Yeah.
year or by the age of 28 I want to be married with kids and a house and a career, and I shouldn't have to want any more than just those basic things. And I'm 38 and I'm not married. I don't have kids, but
No, I'm not
like
gonna lie. The one thing I always
hey,
do
I'm
is
my
when I
own
see
kid.
somebody with like, when I see somebody with like my dream car and everything, I'm like, how'd you get that? Like, you're younger than me. How the fuck did you
Right,
get
right,
that?
yeah.
What am I doing
I
wrong?
think that's
Like, that's
different
more
than
of what
like
I'm doing. Yeah, I'm not like dreaming like, oh,
uh
I wish I could have that life. I wish I was there. I never. I'm more
yeah.
like when I see that shit online, I'm like, that's cool. But I'm also not a social media person
Yeah.
either,
Right. I mean, it's one thing when like you have to take in consider some people, and there's people in my family who have developed imposter syndrome from it. Like
though.
I swear to God, I'm not saying I'm not diagnosing cuz I'm not a doctor or anything, but like I can tell you that there's some imposter syndrome happening
Yeah.
where they're keeping up with the Joneses. I mean, have you heard that before?
I heard like
Yeah.
stuff like that, like Kardashians or whatever, trying to, well, she has a Louis
Or yeah,
Vuitton
yeah,
bag.
yeah,
I
like
want
keeping up
that.
with
Yeah.
right. Well, back when I was a kid, we didn't have the Kardashians or the Kardashians. We had I said Kardashians. I'm such a Star Trek nerd. Um the Kardashians. We didn't have Kardashians when I was a kid, but we had the Joneses, and keeping up with the Joneses was if your next door neighbor got a new car, then you get a new
Yep.
car. Or, well, Jessica got a new bag, so now I got a new bag. And it was just this whole thing of like keeping up with the Joneses. And it was it leads to feeling of inadequacy, but like at the same time there's no there because by the time you're watching someone, the real trick of the trade is that by the time you're watching a video on someone's reel or someone's YouTube channel or some to that effect, um much like my buddy Bunny's Ouch, the YouTube videos that they are uploading, they have curated and cultivated and made that video
Mhm.
months
Oh
before.
yeah.
So it's old news by now today, but you're watching it hot and flat and fresh
Yeah.
now.
It
So,
just
and I
dropped.
know what that's like.
Also,
Right.
put a
So,
pin in this later,
um,
but I have put a pin in what you said about trying to keep up. I have a funny story for you that I'm not gonna say on stream, so put a pin in that too because I actually got to share this
oh,
one with you
okay.
because you actually might be like,
Yeah.
oh fuck. I'm not gonna say it on stream just out of due respect, so but you'll understand. But
Ooh, okay. Well, yeah, I think that like social media, like comparing yourself to like what other people are doing on social media is so detrimental.
yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
even like my mid 30s, like even earlier than that, I would say like in my early 30s, I noticed people close to me. I mean, at the time, um because, as life goes, like, you can create
Oh
distance
yeah.
from certain people because they're your friends or family are only here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and you don't get to choose that. They get to choose
That's
that. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's you know.
Like, you get to the repercussions of it is when you realize they're only here for a season, then, facts are facts and they're not here for the whole lifetime. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's a two-way street when you have that kind of um distance, or when you allow yourself to have that grace of people that you can have in and out of your life. But yeah, a lot of folks that I feel were clout chasing, or
Yeah.
right? Yeah, especially clout chasing. I
Oh
hate
yeah.
clout chasers. Clout If you clout chase, that is like the first like strike in a baseball field game that like, okay,
Yep.
now I'm just busting out my popcorn and watching you strike out at this
Oh
point
yeah.
because like, yeah, it does not take long for me to go, okay, we're done.
Yep.
We're not friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So
Yeah.
I guess honestly, I wasn't gonna really do a third one. Just do a real quick third one because you were talking about friends and everything. Is just
Sure.
don't just know who your people are, man. At the end of the day, is this like you'll have friends, but don't always be a people pleaser to them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
yeah, learn how to say no.
do it if they are to you. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're like, "Hey, I got you today," and then they're like, "Hey, I need help," then do that. But if it's like constantly like, "Hey, can you help
Mhm.
me? Can you help me? Can you help me?" But the moment that you ask for help, bro, start distancing. Just know who your people are, know who your real friends are, and know who who you're surrounding yourself by too. Because whoever you're telling your secrets to, or your feelings or whatever, if they keep that with them, and you guys could sit outside all night and they'll be there, that's the people you need to keep close around. I have a lot of motherfuckers around me
Oh,
right
yeah,
now
for sure.
who I could call up right now as stupid as, "Hey, I need a 10 millimeter socket," and they will bring it, or I'll go get it because I know damn
Mhm.
well they're either gonna want to have a beer with
They're
me.
probably drunk by
Yeah.
now.
As I say, they'll probably have a beer with me, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing with this
Yeah.
socket? I have to know." And then, vice versa. I do the same thing. It's more like, "Hey, dude, you want to come over do this?" And 9 times out of 10, I'll bring a beer here, throw them one, and then I'm like, "What are you doing there?" So, yeah, just by the end of the day, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and just know who your friends are and family, because some of you that are like, "Oh, no, no, I could do it," but I bet you if you call them, like, they won't answer, bro. So make sure you know the ones who
Leading
will.
question, have you ever been in a situation where, you thought you knew someone pretty damn well and you opened
Oh,
yourself to these
100%.
people who
Yeah.
you thought were your close friends, and you completely find out, like, "Oh, they did not have my back at all."
Yeah.
What did you do?
um, yeah. Well,
Yeah? Okay. Well, I'll tell you exactly what
I
I
mean,
did.
I would definitely
I
confront, and then wherever that escalate to. But
Okay. I this is such an old story. So I was just about, I think, like 3 months away from joining the military, and I found out that one of my high school friends, one of my best high school
sometimes I
friends,
don't even say anything. Actually, I'm kind
was
of like, they'll get the hint. I won't respond. I don't answer. I
oh, you
just
just
kind of
ghost
see
out,
where this goes.
just ghost out. Yeah. Um, I had an old friend of mine who I found out was local, and I was like, "Oh wow, hot damn! Like let's like meet back up. I haven't seen you in like 4 or 5 years, right?" So we meet up, and the one day that I had to hang out with him because I went out of my way, mind you. If you ever look this up, I used to live in Paulsville, Washington. I drove down to Vancouver to meet up. That's like a half a day drive,
Yeah.
okay, through Washington. Through the I-5, and, I didn't have a place to stay, so again, I'm living in my Dodge Neon, but, the whole day that I was hanging out with my friend, guess what the hell we were doing that day? We weren't, like, hanging out, we weren't going to a bar, we weren't, like, doing anything.
Yeah.
You know what we did? We
No.
went and we tried to figure out how to buy her a new fucking car at the dealership.
I have a sad story real
Yeah,
quick that happened to me. I had
and
this
I was just
middle.
like, "We're not friends.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that?" Like,
Yeah, that's
who does
wrong.
that?
That is very wrong. Mine's not as
I was
hurtful as
like,
this.
"We're good."
Mine's more like we just became two different people, and it hurt.
Oh,
But what
yeah, that's the
happened,
worst,
and
isn't
well,
it?
what I feel bad about is he actually flew from California to see me. But what
Mhm.
happened was, so he was from California. Real quick story. And I doubt he'll watch this, but if you do, shout out to you, dude. Still love you, but we're just two different people. Anyway, so what happened was
Yeah.
he was from California, and I get all of you that know, for some reason I have this obsession about California. I love California. Even as a kid, I did my research. I did all my projects were about California. I loved it. I don't know why California just calls for me. Anyway, so middle school, this kid was a
Okay.
skater, long blonde hair, just like me, and was from California. I was like, oh my god, this is like meant to be. And he was like fucking funny too. Middle school, man. I mean, we were 13, 14. No, we were 13, 12, 11 years old type shit. And I'm just gonna throw it out there. Smoke pot. I mean, the whole 9 yards, dude. I mean, this kid was literally my twin. Like, I swear to God, like I thought, like, holy fuck, we are the same person. Like, this was my brother. Every summer, we would stay at each other's houses. Like, you couldn't break me and this kid up apart. And so anyway,
Yeah.
it came down to seventh grade, and he goes, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I'm moving back to Cali." I was like, "Oh my god, like I'm losing my best friend," and it hurt, dude. It hurt like a bitch. And then I remember
Aw.
it was my 11th grade year, which what that's junior, right?
Mhm. Freshman?
No, no, freshman's ninth.
Freshman?
pretty sure it's junior because freshman for us is ninth grade. Senior or
Yeah, junior.
yeah, sophomore is
Junior.
10th
Yeah.
grade. Yeah, so junior. Anyway, so he got a hold of me after like literally like that was it. Never talked to him, and it wasn't more like like we ghosted each other. It's just more like he just hadn't have a way to communicate with me, so we never talked to each other. Da da. That was it. And one day he messaged me on Facebook, and he's like, "Hey, how you been?" Da da. And we were talking for weeks. Like, oh my god, like I'm now
Mhm.
fucking 19. No, I was 18. I was like, I'm 18 years old now. Like we were 12. Like I was like, dude, what the fuck? So we talked, we talked, we talked. Well, then he was just like, hey, how you feel about your 2 week vacation for Christmas? I come down and visit you. I was like, yes, yes, yes. We're gonna be reunited again. And bro, I'm not even gonna lie. He was like, oh hey, I'm not, I can't come no more. Like my flight got canceled, this and that. Well, he tricked me because he showed up to my house that night. It was like 10 o'clock at night.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, dude. And this motherfucker went from, oh yeah, by the way, we were the same height too. This motherfucker went from that to like 6'7", dude. Like I was like, oh shit. But it still looked the same, same built and everything, same long blonde hair, like still looked the same, still had the baby face.
Okay.
And dude, I'm not gonna lie, that whole he stayed with me for a week. That whole week was just fucking miserable. And it was for both of
Oh.
us. It was just we grew up, because we knew each other as kids, man. We wasn't even teenagers.
Yeah.
And we just found out like we just grown up. Like we still play games. We still made the best of it what it was, but you could tell. I'm not gonna lie. Like you could tell like both of us was just like I'm ready for us to just go. But we still made the best of it. I
Wow.
still try to do shit, but man, and to this day, I'm kind of like, I wish I could have done something different when he visit, but I didn't. So I do kind of blame myself, but then again, it's just like, I don't know if maybe this is a healing part for me, but I kind of just think like he was also different and we just grew apart. So that was
Yeah. I can agree with that because I mean, like, even like I can't. It's one of those things where I've talked about Travis before. My buddy
it.
who introduced me to Silent Hill and all things survival horror,
Yeah.
and we still talk to this day. We still FaceTime each other. We still phone call each other. Still message each other, and he listens to the podcast. And yet at the same time, in that same group, there's also a lovely friend of mine, one of my best friends in my life. um we don't talk as often. I will be honest about that. We do not talk as often, but I do message her, and she does message me from time to time. Most of her social media life is mainly updates, like family
Love those.
updates, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's pictures of,
This is what we did
me,
today. Yeah.
husband, family. This is no, not necessarily
Oh,
what we
okay.
did
Now,
today. It's more like you get like a snapshot of like the month or like the last 3 months of their
yeah.
lives, like all in
Then
one,
this gone. Yeah.
post, and then gone. And the thing is like uh we haven't my friend Melissa and I, we have not grown apart from each other because I still regard her as such a best friend of mine from that time in my life. But we have grown as two separate, different people. I haven't seen her since I think like 2018.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. And even before that, it was like 2010,
Yeah.
8 maybe?
Wow. So
I
like
don't know.
distance.
So we go like long periods of time without seeing each other, but the thing is like when we come up and we see each other and like
It's
we've
like
had like moments where
nothing ever
we see each
changed.
other, we pick up from where no, yeah, totally. Like we pick up from where we left off, and then it's like we just get it all out. You know
Nice.
what I mean? Um and so, like, it's not necessarily growing up and away from each other. It's more like it's like almost like a voyeurism where we're watching each other grow up at the same time. We're just doing two very separate things. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
Like I absolutely adore her. Like she's one of those friends that like you I ran into her. our origin story is I was a new student in middle school because apparently freshmen go to middle school. I don't know. It's Oklahoma, and the girl that was supposed to be hanging out with me to show me how like where the cafeteria was, she decided to go
Do her own
back
thing.
behind some building and smoke weed. She got caught by the cops, by the grounds, but by the
Oh my
cops.
god.
So yeah, this was just day one for me. And so I get some food and I'm looking at the tables in the cafeteria and I was just like, fuck, I'm that kid.
Yeah.
So I walk over, I find an empty chair, I sit down, I look to the right of me and I'm like, oh yeah, you're that dude from that English class. And he's like, yeah, I'm that dude from the English class. This is my girlfriend. I was like, oh hi, girlfriend. And then I look across and there's Melissa and she's gonna hate me for this, but I remember still to this day, she looked at me, she goes, what are you doing sitting at my
Oh
table?
god.
And I just remember looking down. I remember looking down the table, looking at her, looking down the other way. I was like, I'm eating my fucking food. And then she like got up and walked away. Fast forward through the rest of the day. And my dad sent me a note through the school saying, hey, you're going to be on bus 8.
Oh no.
Get off the bus whenever you feel like it. He didn't tell me like what road I lived on. I didn't make a mental note that I lived on some
Some
road
road.
in Oklahoma. And so I just stayed on the bus until I was the last student on the bus, and I was just gonna figure like that. This was literally my. This was literally like how I was gonna plan it out. I was gonna be the last student to get off the bus, and then the rest of the afternoon, I was just gonna wander around the neighborhood until I found a house that looked like the house I left that morning.
Jesus Christ.
So Melissa happened to be also a student that was getting off the last bus stop, and so I got off the bus with her and I said, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I was that kid at lunch." She goes, "Oh yeah, I remember. You were kind of an asshole." I was like, "Yeah, you were a bitch." Um, I'm kind of lost, and I think I have an idea of where my house is, but I don't know where my house is. Could you help me find it? And she was like, "That is so fucking weird." I was like, I know, but if you're a local, you might help me out. Like, I'm assuming you can help me out." And she did, and she helped me find my home
Oh yeah.
that day, and we've been friends ever since, you know? So, ever since then, so yeah, that's our origin story. But we haven't it's like it's one of those friendships that, like, we haven't, like, grown apart from, you know? We
Nice.
still we it's like, at this point, our friendship is kinda like we wave at each other from, like, a distance,
Yeah.
you know? 'Cause it's the internet,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And those are all the things that I
Yeah.
have learned from growing pains.
Same.
How about you, man?
Yeah, no, I that's everything I learned and still learning.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I think I think we've said this before, but it's always a good thing to be a student through life no matter what. Like, like, don't ever assume that you know everything
Right.
because you'll be proven wrong.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready to hear a ghost story?
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude. Okay, we're gonna be talking about the smoldering specter and the terrifying legend of Ojai. I'm gonna butcher this fucking town's name. Ojai Char Ojai's Charman. The Charman.
Charmander.
Okay, so nestled in the valley of Topa Topa Mountains, Ojai is celebrated for its boutique shops, serene spas, and the spiritual energy of its landscape. But when darkness falls over the valley, the conversation shifts from new age wellness to a much grimmer subject. If you drive down the winding, pitch black stretch of Creek Road at midnight, locals warn that you might catch a whiff of pungent chemical smell, the distinct odor of burning sulfur and rotting flesh. You have entered the haunting grounds of the Charman, California's most visceral and aggressive outdoor urban legend. Now, Dom, do you happen to have an urban legend that's much like that in your neck of the woods?
I would say something familiar, yeah. I just can't think out right now, but I
Okay.
heard.
All right. The origins, a valley consumed by flames. Like many great urban legends, the story of the Charman is deeply intertwined with real world trauma. The roots of the myth tie directly back to a historic disaster, a catastrophic 1948 wildfire, California, so it's kind of
Right.
going to happen, that tore through the Ojai Valley, leaving the landscape heavily scarred. While local history museums note there were no official recorded fatalities in that specific blaze, folklore fills the gaps with a series of gruesome origin stories. And there's two in particular when it comes to the Charman. So think of these as two separate ones, but they're all a part of the same specter. The tragically driven man. The most famous variation claims a father and son were trapped in their remote cabin as the fire surrounded them. The father perished, but the son survived, his body hideously charred and his mind completely shattered by agony. When rescue workers finally navigated the brush days later, they allegedly found the boy had gone completely feral, slipping away into the wilderness to become a permanent phantom of the woods.
Damn.
The second variation is called the trapped husband. Another chilling version describes a husband forced to listen to the agonizing cries of his wife trapped inside a burning vehicle after a crash on Creek Road. Unable to breach the flames to save her, the immense psychological trauma and his own severe facial burns turned him into a reclusive, vengeful monster. The Terror of Creek Road Bridge. While the Charman used to haunt the hiking trails of Shelf Road and Signal Street, decades of residential development forced the legend to migrate to a more desolate, unlit stretch of asphalt called Creek Road Bridge. The ritual of Creek Road is to drive to the bridge on Creek Road after midnight, turn off your headlights, and step out into the dark. Shout, help me!" into the trees. And the result? A tattered, charred figure charging from the bush.
Oh God.
Is there anything like that that happens in your neck of the woods where you
Not that I know of.
do anything like yell out? No? Oh, well, I guess California goes hard. The tattered apparition. Witnesses who claim to have encountered the charman describe a figure dressed in scorched, tattered bandages or rags. His skin is pitch black, peeling and raw. And unlike ghosts that passively float or vanish peacefully, the charman is described as a physical, highly aggressive entity. He doesn't just watch, he attacks. For generations of high school students in the Ventura County, visiting Creek Road is a mandatory rite of passage. The rules of the dare are explicit. According to the lore, the charman mimics or is triggered by cries for assistance. If you shout the phrase, he will burst from the dense canopy of trees, sprinting towards your vehicle with unnatural speed. Local teens tell tales of frantically scrambling back to their cars, hitting the gas, and finding fresh, dusty handprints or scratch marks across their bumpers the next morning. It kind of reminds me the children
Yeah,
who push
yeah,
your
that's what I
car
was
to
getting.
safety,
Yeah.
you know? But also, like, as I was writing this, I was like, okay, I'm a Silent Hill fan, much like anybody else. But as I was writing this, I couldn't help but think of Jasper Gain from Silent Hill 4.
Yeah. Okay.
The guy who burns himself
Yeah.
and then becomes like that ghost who's
Yeah.
like on fire. Couldn't help but think of him in that whole typing it up. Um, a ground perspective. So let's talk about the real thing. Is the Charman real? Is there a shred of truth behind the monster? In the 1960s, the local police offered a much sadder, more human explanation for the sightings. An elderly man living in the area suffered from an extreme disfiguring case of skin cancer that altered his facial features. To avoid the cruel stares of the public during the day, routinely took his dog for walks along the unlit back roads of Ojai late at night. Local teenagers already primed by stories of the 1948 fire crossed paths with him in the dark, panicked, and spun his late night walks into a tale of rampaging fire monsters. But the burning lives on, okay? True or not, the Ojai community has fully embraced their fiery resident. The legend has become such a staple of local culture that it inspired Charman brand, a highly popular award-winning gourmet hot sauce because it's fire, line created by Ojai locals Chris Sultan. The bottle features a fiery silhouette, a playful nod to the legend, which once kept the entire town indoors after dark. So the next time you find yourself navigating the coastal mountains of Ventura County after twilight, enjoy the cool mountain breeze. But if the air suddenly turns thick, hot, and smells of old smoke, don't roll down your windows and keep your foot firmly on the gas. And that's the story of the Charman,
Like that. That's pretty cool.
right?
Well, do the outro.
Does it seem like you have any like I was gonna say like the uh how do like what do you think about that local legend,
That's
man?
really cool. I want to say now that I was thinking of it, we do have something about like oh if you say this phrase, you know. But I want to say we do have something right here, but again I can't put my tongue on it wherever you want.
Kind of takes like it kind of takes like a mixture of, those kids that push you to
Yeah,
safety if you park on a railroad, but it also takes like Bloody Mary,
yeah,
you know? And it also takes like this horrible like, it's California, so we get wildfires a lot.
right,
I live in an area where we don't get uh fires that often, but the point is that like it plays on those I can see where it could make sense.
right. No, it's seriously same.
Question, if you were a teenager, would you wanna do it?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I would do it still today. I'm
Yeah,
38. I'd be like, "Let's go. Let's go do Charman tonight."
that's cool. Nah,
Right?
I would check it out. I would check it out.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie though, if something really did happen, man. Well,
It's okay, it can trip me.
yeah. Next time we'll try to do the same thing we do every night, trying to survive. Don't forget to like, follow, hit the subscribe button, and join the Patreon. Every bit helps. My name is Rastrophic/Dom, and I'm here with
Sean.
wishing you all the best till then. And oh yeah, and we would like to shout all of our moderators. Thank you guys for keeping our channel safe. You know them. If you
Yeah.
want to list them, you can. But they know who they
Uh,
are. Yeah, it's all good.
they know who they are.
Make
We
sure our
appreciate you
community is
guys.
safe from the evil doers out there. With that being said, goodbye.
Unpleasant dreams, everyone.